Hey everybody, it's Ian, the Off-Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. It's time again for another clue, this time clue number 7 from the So Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt. Let's go ahead and dive right in and start putting our clue together. Okay, I have clue packet number 7 ready to go. I have my instructions for my large So Sweet Puzzle Mystery Quilt, and of course I have my fabric guide as well. Let's go ahead and open up package number 7 and see what all the fabric is that is included. Inside this clue packet, we have 4 squares of C fabric. We have 12 squares of F fabric. We have 12 small squares of B fabric. We have 4 large triangles of D fabric. Another 4 large triangles of B fabric. We have a pretty big rectangle, skinny rectangle of B fabric, and we have 4 of those. And lastly, we have 4 large rectangles of B fabric. I'm going to go ahead and put these on the table next to my space, so that way I can have a workspace to work from, and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, starting off for clue 7, or section 7, whichever you want to say, you'll be making 4 of section 7. The instructions below tell you how to make all 4 units at the same time. Step number 1 is to sew a square of B to a square of F, like it's shown. So F is on the left, B is on the right. We're going to make 12 of these in total, and we're going to just sew them together just like that and press towards our F fabric. I recently worked on clue 6 as I've been catching up, and so this clue feels very familiar to clue 6 because we had parts of this just in mirror image of what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to go ahead and sew these together, and I'll come back when it's time to press out all 12 of these squares. Okay, I have finished sewing all 12 of those together, and remember we're pressing towards our F fabric just like that. So now I have my stack of 12. Ooh, that's still very warm. I have my stack of 12. I'm going to go ahead and move on to step number 2. Okay, moving on to step number 2, it says to turn a step 1 unit upside down and then join it to another step 1 unit. So we're just turning it 180 degrees, so that way we get a checkerboard pattern like so. And we're only going to do this 4 times, so I've actually separated out 4 sets of step 1, so that way I don't just go crazy and start making a whole bunch of them. I'm just going to make 4 of these as I'm showing here. So I'm going to go ahead and take these over to my sewing machine, and then I'll come back when it's time to press it all out. Okay, I have sewn those 4 together, and now we're pressing. It doesn't really matter which way we're pressing because it can be turned 180 degrees either way, so it's not a big deal, but I am trying to press all in the same direction. And I love it when you get that nice little kind of shape back here. All right, so let's see which way that goes there. All right, so there's my pile of 4. I'm going to go ahead and move on to step number 3. Moving on to step number 3, it says to join a large triangle of B to a large triangle of D. We're going to be making 4 of these in total, and if we had, I don't think we could make any more because we only have 4 pieces of these fabrics, but that's cool. But we're going to make 4 of these in total, and we're going to be pressing towards our D fabric. I'm going to go ahead and sew these together, and I'll come back when it's time to press it all out. Okay, now that I have sewn all 4 of those together, I am pressing these out. We're pressing towards our D fabric. So I am pressing just like that, and I have 4 of these now completed, and we are ready to move on to step number 4. All right, moving on to step number 4, it says to join a step 3 unit to the right of a step 2 unit. And we're going to add a large B rectangle to the left, and we're going to make 4 of these in total. So just like on clue number 6, we're going to form this kind of bar shape with all 3 of these together. I'm going to go ahead and sew all 4 of these together, and I'll come back when it's time to press it out. Okay, I have sewn all 4 of those together, and I'm just finished pressing all of them out. We press outwards from, what was that, step 2. We press outwards from step 2 out towards our left and our right, and that's going to finish step number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to step number 5. Okay, for step number 5, it says to join a step 1 unit to the right of a long B rectangle, and then we're going to add a square of C to the left. It's kind of falling off my mat here, but basically we have our long B rectangle, we add C to the left, and our step 1 to the right, and we'll sew all of these together, and we have 4 of them in total, so I'm going to go ahead and head over to the sewing machine, and I'll come back here when it's time to press it out. Okay, I have finished sewing all 4 of those together, and now we're pressing inwards towards our long B rectangle. This will help us whenever we're putting in our next step, I should say. It'll help in the next step in the fact that it will help to nest the seams and make it a little easier to put that together. All right. So there are all 4 of my step 5s completed. I'm going to move on to step 6. Okay, moving on to step 6, it says to join step 5 unit above a step 4 unit. And we're going to just sew them just like this. The easiest place to line up is going to be right here where our F fabric makes this diagonal. So I'm going to be looking at this nested seam right here to kind of pinpoint where I want it to land. I'm going to go ahead and sew 4 of these together, and I'll come back when it's time to press it out. Okay, I have sewn all 4 of those together. I am now pressing it towards the bottom of our clue, which was step 4. So I'm just going to press these out, and this is on clue 6. This was the part where I was saying I probably should pull out my regular sized iron instead of my mini iron, because that would probably make this process a little easier. But that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. I did pretty well lining up my 3 squares and got pretty good points, if you will. I know most of the time points refer to like triangles, but I got some pretty good points, I feel like, in these clues. So I'm pretty happy with them. One is a little overlapped more than another, but that's okay. So there are all 4 of my clues. I'm going to label these as either section 7 or clue 7. I like to stick with clue 7 because it just, for me, that's just what my brain likes, but you are more than welcome to label them however your brain works best. So there we go. There's all 4 of my clues put together. I'll label them with clue 7, and we'll be ready for clue 8 next month.